Hi, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman and Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan, and today we're continuing our video series designed to educate and inform the public, so please subscribe to our channel. We talk a lot about the concept of prenuptial agreements and the validation or invalidation of the prenup. And a lot of times the way that question comes up is, well, there's a prenuptial agreement, can the court invalidate it? Well, you have to understand one thing. Michigan recognizes prenuptial agreements. It's part of the legal landscape associated with marriages and sometimes divorces. It's a little bit different, though, than what you see on TV. It's a little bit different than the iron-clad prenuptial agreements that you might see in movies where they talk about it. There's a movie with George Clooney called Bonfire of the Vanities where they talk about prenuptial agreement that couldn't be penetrated. You know, this is a rock-solid prenuptial agreement. Maybe some states have it. Michigan really does not. A prenuptial agreement is a contract. Michigan courts will do everything they can to uphold the contract, but the overall function of divorce law works within the concept of equity. The court can find that the agreement is valid in that it's a legitimate agreement, it was written and signed, it was witnessed, it details whatever it's supposed to detail, it has all the bells and whistles that a valid agreement is supposed to have. The court can nonetheless find it's a matter of equity, they're not going to enforce it. Or they're not going to enforce all of it. Or they'll enforce A, B, C, they won't enforce D. You know, the court has certain discretion to look at the agreement and say, well, there have been a change in circumstances. The agreement didn't contemplate this. The agreement says this and we'll do that, but we won't do this. In other words, there are different kinds of things. So when people say, can we invalidate the agreement? It's really not invalidating the agreement. The court can choose at its discretion to enforce all of it, part of it, or none of it. That'll be based on principles of equity. Now, having said that, I will repeat that the court does make every effort to uphold a contract. A contract signed by two adults under appropriate circumstances should be enforced. There's a strong public policy to enforce contracts so people can make deals. If the contracts are not enforced, people will never make deals because what good will it do? So in order to maintain the public trust, the court makes every effort to enforce valid contracts. But at the same time, because of principles of equity, the court will look at a prenuptial agreement and decide whether or not it is fair and equitable to continue with the validation of that agreement and to what degree. If you have any questions about that, reach out and we'll be glad to help you out.